Hello and welcome back to our next video in our series on XYZ Mesh version 8.2. So in the previous video I gave you a rundown of what XYZ Mesh was, and in this video I'm going to be going over with you this section down here at the bottom left of the input window. Now these settings are all of your presets and things like that that you are going to need whenever you're converting data over into a mesh format or a 3D chart or for exporting into Excel. So with these values down here, the first thing I want to show you is the rows. So let's say that you have a bunch of data that you want to put in, but the rows are not as many as you need. So for instance, right now we have it set up to be 10 rows. However, the data that we're going to be inputting right here is actually 50 rows of data. Well, first off, how you put the data in is you need to right click and copy your data, and then go right back into XYZ Mesh and paste your data in. However, if you don't have enough cells, you need to adjust that right here. So the rows, you need to change that to however many rows you need or more. So for instance, we have 50, so I'm going to change this to 100, and then I'm going to hit clear cells. And as you can see, we now have 100 rows. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to right click and hit paste. Now XYZ Mesh will only take values of data. It will not accept headers. So please try to not put headers into the data and try not to have empty cells. Now it will read cells as empty cells, and if it sees that there's cells after the empty cell, it will actually skip that line of data and go down to the next one. But it is best, or you will get the best results, if you do not have any empty data points inside of your pasted in data. So that is the first one. The second one right here is your decimal. So how many decimal places do you want to go out inside of your data? And this is important because if you are creating a mesh format for Excel, the decimal points will actually increase or decrease the amount of rows or columns you have. And sometimes Excel has limits on how many data points you have. So for instance, in previous versions of Microsoft Excel, when you were running 32-bit systems, there was a maximum of 250 rows or columns. XYZ Mesh is supported all the way back to Excel 2007, 32-bit, and is supported all the way up to our latest testing of Excel Office 365 in 2022. That is the highest version that we currently have tested. So basically from 2007 onward, as long as you have an installed version of Excel on your computer, XYZ Mesh will work with it. It will not work with the online version of Excel because you need to have it installed on your computer. So the decimal points, if you find that it comes up with a warning whenever you convert to a mesh that says that it has too many rows or columns, just decrease the decimal points to whatever you need it to be. Most of the time you won't need any more than 3, possibly 4. Sometimes you'll get up to like the 10 decimal point range, but for most cases 3 or 4 will be plenty. Now those are the main options that you're going to need to work with whenever you are inputting your data. The next options down here, this box is for the sorting. Now auto sort will automatically check your data and sort it based on X and Y values in ascending order. If you don't want the auto sort, then you have the other options down here where it will sort by however it is first presented with the data, which is not recommended unless you know exactly what you want your outcome to be. You can also sort just by X, where it ignores the Y values in the order of which they are at, or you can sort by Y, which it ignores the X values in the order of which that those are at. Now it is recommended that you do auto sort because that will automatically sort it in an optimal way to be viewed and read inside of Microsoft Excel. However, if you need a different sorting option, that's why those are there. The next window right here, these are your curving options. A complete curve means that any empty data points will automatically be filled in whenever you do a mesh conversion. A fast curve will go to a certain point, and then after that point it will not curve. This is so you can get a general idea of the area from surface graphs and things like that without expending too much time in curving that data. So if you need the data done quickly, you can use this option, but it will not be a complete curve if it goes over a certain amount of time. The last option here is single points, which means that there is no curving done at all, and it only takes the data that you have input. It will not calculate any other data points in between it. If it's not available, it will leave it alone. The final toggle right here is a volume calculation. Now this is going to be removed in version 9 because this little function is currently obsolete due to a display window, which I will get to in a little bit. The final box that we have here shows theoretical points and original paths. Now, if I toggle on the original path, you can see that the original lines that we have here, this shows the path from which the data was input. So from the first line or the first data point to the last data point, that is the line for the original path, and you can see where that is. Now this is helpful whenever you are doing a surface graph and you'd like to see where your original data points were. It will highlight a line connecting the data points together so you can see exactly where they were. That way you can see around about where the original points were and which ones were added in. The other one is theoretical points. Now, Excel, whenever it graphs its data three-dimensionally, it actually creates kind of like an illusion because Excel does not actually have a 3D graphing engine. Instead, it uses a two-dimensional graphing engine and tweaks it to make it look three-dimensional. That means that whenever you do plot data in Excel, it does not actually plot in that third dimension. Instead, it uses labels as placeholders to make it look like it is. So let me give you an example with this. If we take all of this information here and we create an Excel mesh, we do that by clicking Excel mesh. It's going to take our data points, plot it over in this window here, and it will give us a graph chart like this. Now there is a section of data right here that is a larger gap than these here, as you can see. Inside of Excel, if we were to plot this, it would put all of these evenly spaced identically. Even if there's a big gap here, it would not show that. That's where theoretical points come in. When we toggle on theoretical points and we go to Excel Mesh and we plot that again, you will be able to see that there is new data points right here and right there that actually help fill in those gaps. So those gaps are fewer, there's not as many of them, and they're filled in. So there was that line right there was not in there originally, neither was that line. So as you can see, the theoretical points help add in data points that were previously not available. Hi, I'm Kyle, owner and operator of Great Technical. Thank you all so much for making it at this point in the video, and if you are here, go ahead, like and subscribe to the channel. It helps us out a lot, and it lets me know that the content I'm making is stuff that you all like to see. Go ahead, leave us a comment as well. Let me know if there's anything that you would like to see in the future, or if you have any future updates that you would like to have included in our products in the future. I would also like to say that being a company owner, I am very proud to be able to support businesses and students. I am also extremely proud to be able to support content creators. So if you have a content platform, you make videos, or if you have a blog and you would like to reuse some of our content, or if you would like to review some of our products, go ahead and send me an email. My email is right here, support@greattechnical.com. Get in contact with me. We can see what we can get worked out. And until next time, thank you all very much. Have a great rest of your day.